So then guys, this weekend the Tuscany Grand Prix is going to be happening. It's going to be at Mugello, and it's the first time we've had an F1 race around this absolutely iconic circuit. Now, before we jump into it guys, I want to quickly make a plug, and that is going to be about a month ago I did a video around this track, racing versus some actual cars in a race, a 10-lap race I believe, driving as one of the Ferraris. So if you guys want to check out that video to see what racing is like around here, then by all means check out the video guys in the top right hand corner of your screen, because this video is going to be more of a track guide and focusing on the key areas and why Mugello is such a special track and why I think it's going to be one of the ultimate qualifying circuits on the calendar. So guys, if you're going to enjoy this kind of different video, I might do the same thing for Imola and also Portimao. So if you guys are going to enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and let's get this video underway. Right then, so here we are then on the track at Mugello, and this is going to be a hot lap with Kimi Raikkonen. First of all guys, this is going to be a lap. I'm going to let you guys hear the engine sounds and enjoy the lap, and then afterwards we'll do a bit of a breakdown and see what the lap is all about. So enjoy the lap guys, and to be fair, it was a really strong one, so let's see how it goes. So there we go then, that is a lap of Mugello, and it's actually a 1:15.3, which is really quick, and it took me a while to get it right, but in the end we managed to set a pretty strong lap. Now let's break this down a little bit. So what we're going to do is break down the lap and point out the key areas and why a lap around here is so crucial. First of all, you may have realized by the layout, dirty air is going to be a big problem around here, so qualifying will be key. Getting the exit out the final corner is going to be absolutely critical, because the pit straight is absolutely massive. You're on the throttle for at least 10 seconds as we make our way down towards turn number 1. Turn number 1 is called San Donato, and you want to brake just after the 100-meter board where the 50 would be. You can see the brake meter board up ahead. There's lots of different areas you can kind of go for, and there's lots of different lines you can take into the first corner. You can go quite wide on the entry and come back in for a late apex. You can go quite early, down to the apex, and then suffer a bit of a wider exit. So there's lots of different lines, and that's generally a bit of a recurring theme around this track. The one tip I would give you, and the one thing I think is going to be really key around here, is going to be slowing fast out. So you sacrifice your corner entry to prioritize your exits. So let's run it forward and let's see where it goes. So into turn 1, we actually take a late apex and focus on our exit. Bring the car over to the right hand side, and you're now into turn number 2, the left hander. Again, this is the first of the corners where the slowing fast out principle applies. So you've kind of got to sacrifice the left of turn 2 to open up turn number 3. So if we move the lap on, you'll see here we open up the line, clip the inside curb, and use a lot of the runoff there on the exit. And that is going to be sector 1 already in the books, at least on the game. I'm not sure if F1 may adjust the sector distances slightly. We'll find out. But we then move into turn number 4. You can see on the right hand side where I've paused the frame, there's a 50-meter board, and that's going to be the reference to turn in and also brake into this corner. So there's going to be a lot of brake zones like that where you just kind of dab the brakes and throw the car in. There's no real heavy brake zones around here besides turn 1 and the final corner. So into the 50-meter board we go, and we're going to just literally dab the brakes, throw the car in, again sacrifice the left to open up the right and use all the runoff as much as you like, basically. We then make our way down towards the right-hander, and this is when things get really, really exciting because the speed you carry through here is remarkable. Now, the turning point is a little bit of tarmac on the left-hand side, which kind of joins onto the curbing. That's kind of like a reference as to when you can start turning in and committing to the corner. And to be fair, you could probably take this flat out. I think that these new cars may be able to go flat. I had to take a very small lift right on the apex, only for a split second, just to get a bit of rotation and to carry that momentum down the hill. You hold it in 7th gear, flick the car left, using all the curbing if you need to, as we now go up through Arrabbiata number 1, which feeds into Arrabbiata number 2. This entire section flat out. I do have a small downshift just to make sure we get some momentum over the top of the hill, and with that we now approach Scarperia, which I believe is turn 11. Downhill right-hander, very easy to offload and unlock up the right front. Therefore, I think for this one you want to kind of brake a bit earlier, and again it falls into that category of slowing fast out. So we sacrifice this corner right here to open up the next one that is going to follow up. So far, we've had a series of left and right chicanes. This is going to be a right-left, and the reference for this one is braking as the curb appears on the left-hand side. Brake just after that, heading into this corner. As we now go down the hill, Scarperia is to lock up, so take it easy. You can see our tyres are overheating on the bottom right, and you want to open up this left-hander to use, again, all the curb on the exit. And now we go downhill, and this is probably the hardest corner on the track, and it's really, really challenging. And this corner is called Correntaio, and it's a bit of a tricky one because similar to turn number 1, San Donato, there's lots of different lines you could take through here. So you can kind of commit to the apex, go very aggressive, very low, and that means you'll go quite wide at the bottom of the hill, or you kind of go quite wide on entry and focus on a late apex. Both methods are quite similar for time loss, and you really could make up your own line. So lots of different options. The brake zone is quite tricky to tell. There's a bit of a reference point to aim for, so you've got to brake a little bit before on the left-hand side. You can see the wall actually ends. There's a bit of a gap in the wall there just after the ambulance. That's kind of like a bit of a reference as to when you can maybe brake and throw the car in. But again, there's lots of lines you can take through here, so there's no real reference. This is a bit of one of those corners where, as a racing driver or someone who competes online or whatever, you know it's like a sixth sense. You know when it's the right time to brake, basically. And we're now going to tip the car in down the hill. I go for an early apex and I try to keep the car as tight as I can. We then let the car wash out wide, flat out through the left and the right chicane, and we now make our way towards Bucine, I believe, the final corner. And again, the reference point for this one is the 50-meter board. You can brake so late around here, and this is probably one of the heavier brake zones compared to the rest of the track. I think this one, turn 1 and Correntaio are the only 3 key areas for braking. Besides that, the track is so damn quick, and you can see the tyres on fire. But this corner here, again, just like Correntaio and turn number 1, these 3 corners are in that category of you can do whatever line you feel like you want to do. So you can tip the car in again, go early onto the apex, or you can go quite wide in the entry and pick up a late one. So I generally like to go for a bit of a midpoint. So I'm not too aggressive going down, but I am also not going too wide on the exits. I'm trying to find that sweet spot in the middle, and getting the exit out there is going to be so key to finalize the lap and making sure you don't run out of energy as we run across the line and set the 1:15.3. So a really strong lap. I personally absolutely love the track. I think it's one of the best tracks you're going to see all year. I think the speeds that are going to be carried, I'm really curious to see how the cars tackle it in real life, whether this game, Assetto Corsa with this mod is a bit too quick or a bit too slow. You never know. I'll leave the links, guys, to all the mods I use in this video in the description down below, so if you guys want to check it out for yourselves and try it. If you have Assetto Corsa on PC, not Competizione, we're talking about the original Assetto Corsa, then you guys can go check this out and give it a go. So I do recommend it. I think it's great fun, and I'm really excited to see how this goes, because the race is going to be a big dirty air fest. It's going to be very tricky to follow because, as you've seen, there's no real heavy brake zones besides turn 1, the final corner, and possibly Correntaio. So it's all quick, like a quick dab of the brakes, tip the car in, flick it left, flick it right, flat out sections like Arrabbiata 1 and 2, and it's just such a fast track. So it's going to be one of those ones where, kind of like Monaco, we admire it and look at it as a qualifying circuit. And ultimately, I do hope Mugello stays on the calendar, because I think with the 2022 regulations, it could be a fantastic track once the dirty air is removed from the F1 cars. So I do hope F1 considers it for future venues and races. With that said, guys, I'm now going to leave you with a replay of the lap to give you a bit of an idea as to what kind of speeds we're talking about from the off-board cameras. And there we go then, guys. That is it for a lap of Mugello, the track guide of sorts. And like I said before, if you guys want to see me do this for Imola and also Portimao, of course, which is later on in the season, then let me know in the comments down below, guys. I'll make some more of these videos. And also, one last plug, like I said before at the start, I made a video around here racing some actual AI cars. If you guys want to see a race around here, then check that video out, guys. But that is it from me here today. If you enjoyed it, drop me a like and subscribe for more content like this on the channel, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. And also check out the 2 videos on your screen right now if you haven't seen it. But that is it from me here today, guys, for the Mugello track guide, and hopefully this weekend's race is just as special as the Italian Grand Prix.